Hey, up, it's first aid from hell.
What are you doing today that's useful?
Well, give us a minute, I'll think of something.
Too late. I've thought of something. You'll do nicely.
For what?
For doing a kindness. Taking an old person out for an hour. Give him a change.
He'll no longer be mobile when you finish bandaging him.
There's nothing wrong with him apart from loneliness. He doesn't need bandaging.
Well, that's never stopped you before.
You could do with a bandage between your nose and your chin. That's where he lives.
Hey, this is miles away. Who's providing the transport?
That's your problem. I'm medical, not transport.
Where to take people for a change? Suppose he's already been?
There you are, love.
Don't love me. And where do you think you're going?
I was looking for you. I thought, where's Pearl?
Where's Pearl? She's one jump ahead of you. That's where Pearl is. Get your body inside.
You're wondering why I keep trying that door. I'm determined to locate that squeak.
7. Maybe 8.
What?
Out of 10 for lying. On the spur of the moment, that wasn't bad.
So, there it is, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm walking my beat. Which you could in those days, before we had the support of the educated classes.
It's funny, they never blame honesty on social conditions.
And suddenly, there's this chap up a tree with a pair of binoculars staring into a bedroom window. I thought, right laddie, you're nicked. But first, let's have a look what's going on through that window. Which wasn't idle curiosity, you'll understand, but a necessary precondition for gathering the evidence.
Yeah, I think we can all appreciate that. What size tree was it?
It held us both quite comfortably.
For how long?
You know how it is. Time flies when you're enjoying yourself.
Were you selling tickets or did you arrest him?
It was his own house.
He was watching his own bedroom window through binoculars.
Which is well within the parameters of odd human behaviour. Besides which, he had a perfectly good reason.
He was a trifle loopy.
In addition to that, he was trying to catch his wife smoking. She kept swearing she'd stopped, but he was sure he could smell cigarettes. So we took turns on the binoculars.
Who's that? It's Nora Batty. In uniform. Hey, you don't think she's invading, hmm? You go.
Me? It's your house.
If I go, she'll bandage me.
Why will she bandage you?
Oh, she did before.
What are you doing this afternoon?
Well, we're not expecting to be bleeding or anything.
I made arrangements with my neighbour. You're going out to make a nice change for a lonely old man.
Well, wouldn't you make a nicer change for a lonely old man?
I I shall be with the ladies looking after his wife. My neighbour's making travel arrangements. He'll be here in an hour.
Right, thank you.
If she wants me to leave something for medical science, they can have my wart.
Worse.
I ought to do something.
I'm not good at showbiz.
You don't have to get yourself in the tabloids. Just do a little something for the children's concert.
It'll go wrong. Things always go wrong for me.
Oh, really? Now he tells me.
Apart from you, things always go wrong for me.
Do you country and western? You like country and western?
I used to, till something went wrong for me.
Oh, Barry, it's not as if you've been stealing cattle or robbing stagecoaches.
I had an accident with a gun.
You never said.
I dropped it on my big toe. I was limping for a week.
You said it was gout.
That's how dangerous it was in the Old West. No wonder they never took their boots off.
Where are we supposed to be going to on this errand of mercy?
Some old couple out on the moors somewhere. I find it easier to go along than it is to argue.
Oh, me too. And you've no idea the trouble it got me into.
It's some old couple she's found living out in the hills somewhere. She's decided they need a day out. They need a change.
She's decided they're probably quite happy.
Quite likely. It'll be Nora's idea. And when Nora Batty wants to do you a kindness, you'll get a kindness done whether you like it or not.
She's merciless.
She says they've never been out for years. Obviously not the kind of people you can mistake my Howard for. Come in, big ears.
How did you know he was there?
It's the marital bond. You get so you can hear their knees creaking as they bend for the keyhole.
I think it's nice you're doing this kindness to this old couple.
When I get back, I don't want to find that you've been doing a kindness to some other old party.
I don't know what you mean.
Hey, look at him. See how he changes colour when he lies? It starts just behind the ears there. Look.
Yes, always here. Strange, isn't it?
So, was it worth it? Up a tree with his binoculars. Did you find out whether his wife had given up smoking?
Oh, yes, he found out. Wow, did he find out.
Are you going to tell me, or do I have to start on your fingernails?
He found out she wasn't smoking.
Ah, a happy ending, my favourite kind.
Not quite.
Not a happy ending.
Well, he was pleased to find out she wasn't smoking. But he wasn't so pleased to find out that it was him next door popping in when her husband's back was turned. He was doing the smoking.
So what did the husband do?
He started smoking again.
Oh, you do tell me some rhubarb, but I must admit, you do it well.
I thought I'd just drop in. Since I was passing.
Yeah, we saw you passing.
What? She's really on her toes this morning. This is my third attempt to break out.
Why don't you try something really tricky like, "Pearl, love, I'm just popping next door to Cleggys."
No chance. They get really suspicious if you start being honest.
Look, here's the deal. You don't ask us to deliver messages, and we won't say no.
It's nothing like that. No. I just wondered if you knew a suitable upmarket, isolated country inn where one could entertain.
A young lady?
I suppose that's one possibility. If she happened to belong to the same Country Pursuits Federation.
Well, if by some unlikely chance the young lady did belong, how far upmarket would this place have to be?
Somewhere where, if you were late, a young lady could wait without being bothered.
And do you think this hypothetical young lady is likely to be, bothered?
I most certainly do. I can't take that chance. I hate to think of her falling into the wrong hands.
Or even taking a running jump.
Why don't you just settle down? Or take up something less risky, like euthanasia?
Perfectly innocent. We're just good friends. We have a common interest in the great outdoors.
What a passionate spirit to be confined within the range of a bicycle. I think you were meant to be Italian, Howard.
I sometimes feel that. I think Pearl suspects it too. She refuses to encourage my interest in spaghetti.
You do talk a load of old bolognese, Howard.
It's just that I'm surprised, that's all. And after a bad experience in a remote branch library, I'm not easily surprised. But I've never known you do charity visits.
I do valuations for free. I call that a charity visit.
Charge expenses?
I tried not charging expenses, but I found I couldn't sleep.
It was having my heart broken used to keep me awake.
Then you'll understand how I felt about not charging expenses.
Have you never known romance?
Oh, when I was young and daft, I thought I'd found Mr. Right. And then I caught him in the act.
Oh, don't tell me. I know what they're capable of. He betrayed you.
Oh, did he ever? In broad daylight, during business hours.
Oh.
I caught him trying to give this customer his money back.
So, of course, you never forgave him.
Not only that, I sacked him.
So how come you changed your ways and started visiting these old folk?
I've been doing it ever since I discovered that virtue is its own reward. You go and help these old people, and it's amazing what you can pick up in antiques.
Oh, as charitable as that.
If you can spread a little happiness. Oh, don't go without your pump. You've paid for it.
Not so hard to find. You just turn left after Outer Mongolia.
How did Nora find these people way out here?
Witchcraft. What's more, you can see through walls.
I bet that's a bit easier than trying to see through her nightie.
Imagine the occasion hardly arises.
It's a very unsettling thought when you live only next door.
What we need is someone who speaks the language out here to get down and open the gate.
Consider it done. Off you go then, Alvin. Open the gate.
Open the last gate.
There you go, you see. There is no substitute for experience.
Just collapsed in my hands.
I'll bet you're the one that built the former Mrs. Truelove's conservatory.
I expect that's why these people have never been out anywhere. It's too much trouble opening the gate.
I hope the old boy we're taking out is in better condition than his gate.
We'll leave the gate. The women are going to be coming through.
Open gate, like open mouth. Things get out.
What's to get out? There's nothing in the field.
Who ordered chicken?
This must be him, old Scrooby. Good day to you, sir. We're looking for Mr. Scrooby.
That'll be me grandad there's wanting then.
Your granddad's still around?
He's buried in churchyard.
Well then, no. We're not looking for your granddad. Are there any other Scroobies?
Oh, aye.
What about a hint?
There's no hints round here.
Anybody got a phrase book?
Are there any other Scroobies?
That's me. I'm a Scrooby.
I think we've cracked it. That's who we're looking for.
But he said he wasn't Mr. Scrooby.
I'm not. I'm Bert. I've always been Bert. Mr. Scrooby were me grandad. Here, old Lucy.
My advice to you, Tex, if you're worried about your gun, is fasten it in. Make sure it doesn't fall out. Sticky tape or something.
I think that's cheating. Good guys don't cheat.
Good guys get shot while they're picking up their gun.
Yeah, that's the downside. How do I look?
You look lovely.
I'm not supposed to look lovely. I'm supposed to look like a cowboy.
You look like a lovely cowboy. I could take you straight upstairs and cuddle you.
Lovely doesn't sound right to me. I don't want to be the fastest flickering eyelash in the West.
What are you going to sing?
Well, I thought something lively.
Can you do lively without losing your gun?
Oh, I don't know. I was just sort of half drawing it. Oh, it's too embarrassing to admit that you dropped your 6-gun on your big toe. It's not a cowboy thing.
Oh, Barry. I bet the Old West was full of cowboys nursing their big toes.
Where's he gone? Well, not for chips, I hope.
My chicken's very warm underneath. Is that normal?
Almost certainly a thermostat gone.
I think they're designed like that so they can squat down and keep their feet warm.
It's like cuddling one of Nora Batty's hats.
Oh, do tell. When did you have that experience?
Do they peck?
Only at one end.
What are you lot doing with birds' chickens?
We were wondering that.
Who are these lot with your chickens?
It's all right, Mother. They've come to take us out for a day, like that woman said.
But chickens?
They're just holding them for me.
For how long?
Just till I clean the place out.
How long does that take?
Top to bottom, 2 hours.
They're not standing here for 2 hours holding these things. Can't we put them down?
No! Look, they'll wander away. There's foxes and God knows what's out there. The lad'll go mad if I lose any chickens.
Well, can't you clean them out another day?
Set my mind on cleaning out them chickens. What do you think, lass?
Well, if they're taking us out for a day.
Not you. We're just taking Mr. Scrooby.
His granddad. You'll never stop taking his granddad.
No, we're taking this Mr. Scrooby.
Well, if you're going with that lot, who's taking me out?
The ladies are coming. They're taking you out.
Not that old bossy boots again.
Better get changed, lass.
Changed? It's going to be a lot of fuss then, this going out.
Do you think perhaps we ought to be making a little fuss ourselves, Bert?
Or even a lot.
Has he got a best suit?
Of course I've got a best suit. I've got my granddad's.
You bury him in there.
His nightshirt. His best nightshirt. We kept his best nightshirt.
Wear the suit, Bud.
Right. We'll put the chickens back in the barn. And then we'll wait and help the ladies open the gate.
We left it open.
You what? Sal, he left the gate open.
Oh, good grief, he'll be out.
There was nothing in the field. We checked.
A wide open gate he will, he'll be out.
Well, I wouldn't call it wide open exactly. It's more like, scattered about.
There's instructions never to go past that gate. We've told him. It's a wicked world out there. But if you've left it open, oh, good grief, he will. The lad'll be out.
Is this the right way to the Scroobies?
I hope he knows what he's looking for inside.
Me?
Oh. Take it, don't upset him. It's probably some native custom.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, I'm sure.
Now gives a kiss. I gave thee an apple.
I've come across native customs like that before.
We'll have to find the lad before he goes through too many apples.
Where did he learn this apple trick?
Grandad, you were a bad influence.
No wonder he needed 2 nightshirts.
If he's on foot, I mean, how many apples can he be carrying? He can't have gone far.
Yeah, but did he go east or west? We'll have to split up. Some of us will go one way and some t'other. We'll get the cars.
Who's coming with me?
Well, I'm just glad we're not taking the chickens. Not that I don't like chickens. Many of my deepest instincts are chicken.
That belongs to some campers. They leave it here.
This looks like a native. Ask this one if he's seen anybody.
Good day to you, me old Manglewurzel. We're looking for somebody known hereabouts as the lad.
Thou's just found him then. That's me.
For a lad, that's a cunning disguise.
How long have you been the lad?
I've always been the lad.
Right then. Up in the back, they want you at home.
Nay.
What's he mean, nay?
I think he means nay. Fancy loping off like that. Do you think he's rehearsing for Village Idiot?
I think he's word perfect.
He's not going to get away from truly at the yard. I deduce he's over there, in that ditch.
She likes a gossamer touch on the clutch. Be gentle with the clutch.
He's not up that way.
Oh, he's down that way.
In my pickup.
Now I suppose we've all got to climb into this thing. Shouldn't you have brought 2, Bert? 1 for each foot?
Get in. I know a shortcut. I thought it was nice to have them to wear.
I know Will be in the pub. You'll have to go fetch him.
I don't think I should go into a public house in my uniform.
Well, you've been in wearing funnier hats than that.
To fetch my husband out.
At least you knew where to find him. I need a bush hat to go find him mine.
I think a hat should make a statement. Chosen wisely, it's a barrier against unwelcome attentions.
Well, you got that bit right.
You're wearing the wrong ones. Quite by chance, fortunately. Are we going to find the lad before he's down to his pips?
This is nice. I love the ambience already.
Oh, it was highly recommended.
Not always a safe guide for a girl to follow.
I made inquiries for a place that would be suitable for a lady.
It makes a nice change from a quick bite behind a bush somewhere.
Of unquestioned respectability.
Which I owe entirely to you, Howard. Considering the number of times you've led me behind a bush somewhere. Oh, please understand me, I'm not complaining. There must be few of us who've been exposed to such scenery.
I know how you like scenery.
I could give thee an apple.
What a kind thought.
I hope he wasn't bothering you.
You hardly gave him time.
What did he want?
The gentleman wanted to give me an apple.
You shouldn't go accepting apples from strangers. You never know who they are.
I believe that's why they call them strangers, Howard.
There's the pickle.
I think I found an admirer, Howard.
Oh, you know you have. It's me.
I mean another one, Howard. It never rains, but it pours.
Looks like he might take advantage.
Good heavens. And I'm not even halfway through the menu.
I suppose it's better being looked at by strangers than people we know. I was very careful to choose a place where we wouldn't be seen.
Hey up, it's Sonny and Cher. Those blushes look familiar.
I think I just heard his appetite leave him.
Don't sit there in pure enjoyment. Say hello, Howard.
Hello. What a day of surprises. You're the second party I bumped into by accident.
Who was the first?
This young lady here.
Oh, nice try, Howard.
I don't know why people never believe me.
Come on.
I thought you said this place was quiet.
It is quiet. Look how quiet you went when we walked in.
You found him then? Just in time. Still on his first apple.
I know that bicycle. That's a bicycle that's up to no good. I wonder if that bicycle would like a ride.
Oh, what a wicked thought. I must congratulate you on that.
You'll want to be here when Howard gets in. We can listen to him lie about how he's managed to lose his bicycle.
How are you going to explain the loss of your bicycle, Howard?
I'll tell her I had to give it to some poor person in need. This poor tramp was in a terrible condition and I couldn't resist it.
That's wicked, Howard. You're a genius.
I'm so sorry we got interrupted and didn't get lunch.
Not to worry, Howard. I've got 2 apples.
Barry, how long have you had a twitch?
It's terrific. A real mean twitch.
There must be some underlying cause, such as guilt or depression. Oh, Barry, I've made you so miserable you've been unfaithful to me.
Never. You are looking at the world's most faithful twitch.
How long have you had it?
Since they gave me the part. It's a terrific part. And this stone-faced killer, a real psycho.
Barry, you shouldn't be a psycho. You should be someone who mends broken toys for sick children or rescues old ladies. I wouldn't have let you join that drama group if I thought they were going to make you a psycho.
But it's a terrific part. It's the best part. I love it.
He had a 10th share in a racehorse.
And a 3rd share in a Mrs. Wilkinson.
Well, actually, she turned out to be better than the racehorse.
From all accounts, she was nearly as fast.
This would look all right on your watch chain.
Oh, dear. They're not allowed to burn them anymore. And it costs money to take them to the tip, so they just dump them.
That's what happened to Mrs. Wilkinson.
No, it wasn't. It's what happened to the racehorse. He kept Mrs. Wilkinson.
Well, she was cheaper to feed, and she didn't need so much exercise.
He's not usually late. He's not usually much good when he's here, but he's not usually late.
Give him a break. I finally fixed him up with this woman. Maybe he's lost his sense of timing a bit.
He's lost more than that. He's lost half an hour's wages for a start.
You know how long he's been looking for a companion?
He can't keep them. They all leave him, even his cat.
Still misses that cat.
Well, you can't blame it for leaving. It was beginning to look more depressed than he does.
He can cheer up now I finally found him someone.
How did you manage that? If you can sell Smiler to somebody, how come you can't shift more of my old stock?
Well, it wasn't easy until I realised where we were going wrong was he was looking for someone attractive.
Do you think this bundle of clothing could be in? What's he hiding his face for? I mean, who wouldn't, but he generally doesn't. This doesn't look like Cloud9 to me. This looks more like drizzle.
Oh, he can't have ruined it already. Well, he can find his own the next time. The amount of work I had to put in on Bessie.
Bessie? Where?
You calm yourself, lad. Even your nerves are a bundle of nerves. You're late.
Got anything you want delivering long distance? Australia, maybe?
I just found Bessie for you. What are you running from?
Bessie!
Gratitude for you.
You've got to get rid of her. Send her back.
Slow down.
Oh, don't tell him that. I spend hours trying to keep him moving.
That sounds like a good idea.
How come you want to get rid of her? You've only had her 5 minutes.
You'll excuse me, I'm not one for asking personal questions, but how come she's so firmly attached to you? I mean, it's not as if you're likely to stimulate an urge to cuddle you.
It's him. He's told her I've got money.
I had to tell her something. What else could I tell her about you to make you interesting?
Well, you could have told her I'm...
Are you sure about this?
But I've always wondered if it could be done.
Of course it can be done. All it requires is a large tyre and an idiot.
Luckily, we had one with us.
That's Billy Hardcastle, they'll say. Inventor of the tyre bobsleigh. Besides, if it goes too fast, I shall just bail out. Throw myself sideways.
That's Billy Hardcastle, they'll say. Famous for throwing himself sideways.
Besides, you're not going to let it go, are you? You're going to make sure it goes nice and slow.
Just try to remember which way is sideways, Billy.
May we take this opportunity to wish you happy landings, Billy?
Why is he saying things like that?
I'm sorry, we don't talk to people who are upside down.
I'm not upside down. I'll tell a lie. It's not bad, this. It's like being on a fairground ride. I'm surprised other people don't do it.
That sounds like famous last words to me.
Hey, we've only just started. I'm just beginning to enjoy.
Don't forget the sideways, Billy.
Where's the ring?
You can take that lot down for a start. What's all that clutter on the wall? If you've put it out for the bin man, they're not here till tomorrow.
I'm listening fiercely here for sounds and noise from outer space.
You were asleep.
I get this shake in the arm and I look up and there you are. I'm thinking, hello, they've come in person. I bid you welcome to the planet Earth.
What are you supposed to be listening for?
For signs of life out there. You don't imagine we're alone in the universe.
You and me? You'd have to be tidier than this if we were.
That is the most chilling idea I have ever heard.
Alone in the universe?
No, you and me.
You needn't worry, I'd sooner have an accident.
Say that, but every time I look up, there you are. Look, why don't you come right out with it and admit you're attracted to me?
Listen and hold your tongue. You're inches away from a bad experience. The last time I was attracted to a man, it was VE night, and I put that down to general air of excitement. What kind of a prize are you? Just look at you.
There you go, you see, emphasising what we have in common.
If anybody came from outer space, they'd take one look at you and bug off home again.
Don't mind you falling for me. A woman's love is a gift. I just wish yours was better wrapped. Try me when you've got yourself done up a bit.
You'd like me to put something on for you?
Could be a start. I make no promises, mind.
Just putting something on.
Take your time. I don't expect miracles overnight.
How about this then?
Has he been drinking?
Only the rich possibilities of life.
Obviously a bit too rich for him. I don't want you in here if you're going to be ill.
I'm not gonna be ill.
I won't have it in here. There was one come in here once. He had a heart attack.
That was before he got his bill.
Another one. I look more like a casualty ward than a cafe.
He's had a romantic setback.
Me too, I got married.
Romance was optional in my day. You could get married just as well without it.
They don't really marry these days. They just keep rehearsing for it.
Smiler looks as if he's rehearsing for being buried.
No one left him.
No, this one's sticking.
What's wrong with her?
She's threatening to be permanent. That's what's wrong with her.
Yes, they do. I went to this chapel tea once. I wondered why this lady kept on smiling at me. It turned out later that she'd decided that we were going to get married. And she was right. That's uncanny, really.
I don't know. You spend your life trying to get him fixed up with a woman, and then when it works, he's not satisfied.
It's not that I'm not satisfied, I'm terrified.
Hang on a minute, let's get something cleared up. How come she's so attracted to you?
Yes, I was wondering about that.
It's him. He's told her I've got money.
Well, tell her you've got no money.
I've tried that. She thinks I'm just being modest.
Well, if you want a witness for what you're spending here, I can vouch for you.
I don't think you can avoid these things. Once you've been chosen, that's it.
We should be able to get him out of it. I mean, look at him. For getting rid of a woman, he's got every advantage. I'll handle this. I used to be married to terrifying.
I still am. And it's got a sister.
Why don't you come and see for yourself?
Where?
Down at the allotments. It's where he met her.
They met at the allotments. I like it. Make a great musical.
She lent me some manure.
It's just asking to be set to music.
I didn't even want any manure.
It's the thought that counts.
Especially if you're counting in manure. Where are you going?
All this chat about manure, I have this urge to go and do a bit of gardening.
Tell me where we're going.
I was just going to change my library book. Over and out.
Oh, the old library book ploy. Well, don't be long about it. And leave that thing in your saddlebag. I heard that.
We're only going to watch her walk past, right? I mean, we're not going out to talk to her or anything.
Relax. We're just going to show her to these people here. Here we go, Smiler. Here comes your love life now.
She doesn't look so bad. She looks quite attractive.
Not the little one. The one with the sack. That's Betty.
I thought it was a man.
You'd have no fear of burglars. I bet she's got a hefty punch. We'll get you free, Smiler. If she won't take a hint up front, we'll try a more subtle tactic.
I'm not good at subtle.
You're too clumsy to be good at clumsy.
Nitty-gritty time, Smiler. Hey, what is the good at?
You have to answer that right away. Can I have time to think about it?
Don't start thinking. You know it upsets you.
Relax. We're doing the thinking for you. Now, what we do is dishearten her. Make her believe she's too late. Let her see he's already got a girlfriend.
Well, I haven't got a...
You borrow one.
Who?
Marina.
Is she available?
She does a great impression.
It's her day off. Where do you find Marina?
Truly of the yard keeps his eye on things. In the bushes. Is there anyone there?
No! Fancy saying no.
I was just helping this young lady find a lost earring.
It's not through overexertion. They say life's a struggle, but I'm still waiting.
Smiler needs to borrow Marina for a while, Howard. It's an emergency.
Oh, well, if it's an emergency.
Oh, I don't know that I like her being borrowed. Not that she's any business of mine, of course. We're all free human beings. We make our own decisions.
Come in, number 21, you
I ought to explain. I'm fairly new to all this romantic stuff.
I think that's understood.
What are we supposed to do?
Let's keep an element of surprise.
You just go strolling hand in hand through the allotments and make sure Bessie sees you.
Hand in hand? Really quite close then.
You can do hand in hand.
I'll give it a try. Don't overload him.
You've got to let Bessie see that you're really very good friends. And I mean very good friends.
I think that's within my range.
What do we say?
You don't have to say anything. Just give Marina a cuddle as you go past Bessie.
Oh, it gets worse. Although I suppose under the circumstances one could permit a cuddle.
You can do cuddle.
As well as hand in hand.
You can do it. You're going to have to if you want to get rid of Bessie.
I do. I really do.
Off you go then. Take this borrowed woman and do your best.
I don't think I've ever been cuddled in the allotments.
Well, it's amazing what goes on in allotments. You think people are just growing veg. And it turns out it's a hotbed of steaming passions.
I'll teach you to borrow manure.
Here they are, back already.
Well, she wanted an element of surprise.
Are you sure you need a suit, Barry?
You've got to look right, love. Looking right is half the battle. We actors have to feel right. It's very important.
You look like you're in a buying mood. I call that feeling right.
What have you got in the clothing line for a psychopathic killer?
If you just step this way into the psychopathic killer department.
Won't your old brown suit do? It looks pretty deadly.
I got it for Eric's wedding. Probably still got confetti in the turnips. It's going to throw me right off my stride when I try to strangle somebody and they start covering them in confetti.
Now then, I always find that most psychopathic killers favour a nice chalk stripe.
You know I'm no good at these things. Why me?
Because you look like a financial advisor.
Everybody says so.
It was just your suit that looked careless about money.
Don't keep it all to thyself, Cleggy. Give us some financial advice.
My advice is never to wear this kind of hat.
Relax. You look terrific. Plan A went pear-shaped. This is Plan B. You turn up at the allotments. We'll make sure that Bessie and Smiler are there. You tell Smiler that he's lost all his money. The market's gone flop. He's broke.
And that's Plan B.
The simple ones are the best. It's foolproof.
I hope you haven't been exposing that young lady to any sort of danger.
We feel the same way about thee, Howard.
Who's he supposed to be?
Oh, he's Mr. Mildew, of Mildew, Hassett, Fawcett and Prong.
The prong I can see. It reminds me of my Uncle Mosley, and we had to send him away.
Take no notice. You look terrific. Tell him he looks terrific.
I'm not the sort to lie.
That just no tells.
That's self-defence. You have to lie to pose.
Couldn't I be fussy? I mean, I'm sure this hat it's much more fussy.
Oh, off you go.
How about it, Dreamboat? Dump the shorty, just you and me. Let's go for a spin.
He can't. He's got to stay on guard.
Of what?
His rhubarb.
He hasn't got any rhubarb.
You see, you turn your back for a second.
I thought we'd have a nice little ride to your favourite cash dispenser and then have a splurge.
He doesn't do splurging. He promised his mother.
I don't use cash dispensers neither.
And stacking it away. I like that in a chap.
Hey, yo. Here comes your financial advisor, Smiler. What a funny hat.
That's right. He's my financial advisor. He advises me financially.
You're overdoing it.
Ooh, he's a smoothie.
We need a word in private.
You can speak freely. He's among friends. Very close friends.
That little nest egg of yours.
Oh, yes, his nest egg. Go on.
Gone.
Gone?
Oh, well. Easy come, easy go.
Knows how to handle adversity, this lad. Takes it on the chin and thinks, I've still got me rhubarb. No, sorry, that's gone as well.
What a wonderful attitude. I call that very refreshing in these hard financial times.
Hallelujah.
I call it careless. I bet you're doing well. Financial advisor. Get on, I'll give you a lift.
I don't think I'm going your way.
No problem. I'm going yours.
When she says lift, she really means lift.
Will it pick him up?
There's a pick up a pin dropping on Mars. Which direction did she take him?
We don't know which direction. That's why we need you. How does it work?
It runs on microwaves.
Does it do chips?
Why has this person run off with Clegg?
She thinks he's got money.
Isn't love grand?
Stop here. I think I heard something.
What's this lot doing?
Oh, that's my next door idiot.
Look at you. Mine lives closer than that.
Why is he playing with a dustbin lid?
It's a high-tech dustbin lid. He's looking for life in outer space.
In my day, they used to look no further than Blackpool.
But he's looking for aliens from outer space. Why is he pointing downwards?
I've told you. He's an idiot.
What's he going to do if he hears life on other planets?
He's going to report it to the authorities.
Where would you go with a report like that?
Well, he says he thinks he'll start with the Highways Department.
They'll not want to know if they can't paint yellow lines on it.
What are you doing here?
We're rescuing Clegg. I found him. I've heard the noises.
Norman Clegg is in outer space?
He wishes he was rather than where he actually is.
Why does Norman Clegg need rescuing?
He's been taken by the alien from the allotments.
Kidnapped. Well, nearly kidnapped. Been taken by sidecar on account of his financial genius.
Oh, somebody's in for a surprise then.
Hey up. I've got it again.
Well done, Alvin. That's a right little eavesdropper.
Is it Norman Clegg?
Who knows? He could have been changed beyond all recognition.
You'd be surprised how quickly my Barry can change into a psychopathic killer.
Oh, is he missing his putts again?
It's the part he's playing for the drama group.
It's a human voice.
Then he can't be here from the allotments.
Where are you trying to focus? Where are these sounds coming from?
Over there in them trees.
What would Norman Clegg be doing in the trees?
I don't even want to think about it.
Sacrificed himself for Smiler.
Brings a lump just here.
I can't see Norman Clegg in the trees. Not with a strange woman. He'd sooner be up a tree.
Hang on, she's coming through now.
Oh, Howard! He'll get me back in that car. I'll fix him.
You're useless, Alvin.
It picked them up, didn't it?
We weren't looking for them.
Well, she's glad we found them.
What about poor old Clegg? What he needs is a minder. Some psychopathic killer.
Looking good, Daddy. A few face shields of that magnitude should put the frighteners on her.
How big is this, Bessie?
A factor of no consequence to psychopathic killers, lad.
She's big. Big and big.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
You don't have to wrestle her. You just have to dominate her psychologically.
You've got to think like a killer, Barry. As if you're really ready to murder.
I am. Ready to murder you lot for getting me into this.
Just think of it as a wonderful opportunity to practice your acting.
Or alternatively, think of it as a wonderful opportunity to get into trouble.
Don't put him off.
Too late.
He needs something to convince her he's totally ruthless.
You'll get to love our bike. We'll buy a new one.
Okay, now.
Remove my father from your bicycle. I'm taking him home to Mother.
Oh, Barry. My hero.
What are you doing?
Just test it.
I know you're a bit wet, but do you need a drain pipe?
I suppose so. Aren't he selling them?
What do you want one of them things for?
Well, I didn't go in for one of these. I went in to choose a roll of lino. Lino lacks entertainment appeal. These are more interesting than lino.
As long as you don't go staring at me through it.
Just testing. You needn't read anything giddy into it. You're a bit lacking in entertainment appeal yourself. Have you never felt the urge to act on impulse?
Next question.
You have to admire him in some ways. He made a career out of an ingrowing toenail. He played it so skillfully, he finished up with a disability pension.
It's funny the stuff that grows on the human body. I've often thought that nails were weird, especially toenails. You can see that basically we all come from the same kind of animal. When you look closely, beetles are made out of toenails. Well, the hard bits, that is.
Oh, the Death Watch toenail. I like it.
They have the same hard shell like a toenail, same material.
You think we're related to beetles?
We're related to beetles. We're related to every other kind of creature. We have to be. I mean, we all came from that one first creature.
That was just a blob of jelly. Didn't have any toenails.
But it does now. It's got very inventive with toenails. There are crab shells, snails. And when you come to think about it, horses' hooves are basically toenails. A chicken's claws, beaks, they're all basically toenails. We're just one big family.
Mine's too big since the wife's sister came. She regards me with all the affection of an ingrowing toenail.
Good. Auntie's selling them. I was wondering if you could look after it for me, Cleggy.
I'm sorry, Howard. I'm not qualified. I failed Periscope.
Why do you want Clegg to look after it? I mean, it's house trained, it doesn't bite. Take it home.
I can't be found in the house with something like this.
It's what that keeps being found outside the house with. That should be well.
You shouldn't listen to idle gossip.
I wouldn't call it idle. In your case, he gets quite busy.
So unfair. Suspicion falls even on your Periscope. I'll assume I'm using it for the wrong purposes.
There is an alternative to involving Clegg.
Oh, more.
It's best to be frank and open about things. Sneak it in.
Pearl can spot a sneak at 20 yards.
Not if you do it properly. Now, trust me, I was in the vice squad. You had to be sneaky, if only to avoid the offers of marriage.
Where am I going to hide this?
Shove it down your trousers. I used to keep a truncheon down mine. You get used to these things.
It's slipping.
Come here.
Go on. Tell me then. Tell me what you're doing. Dying to hear what you consider a reasonable explanation for this.
We were trying to establish why he's got a limp.
Not bad. For starters, that's not bad.
His agony. It came on quite sudden.
And have you found out why he's got a limp?
Ingrowing toenail.
Ingrowing toenail. His agony.
He'll be with you in a minute, Wendell. Barry, Wendell's waiting in the car.
Oh, why do I have to take him for a drive?
Be friendly, Barry. You liked him on holiday?
You do. You get on with people on holiday.
You invited him to keep in touch?
Well, you do. You don't expect any idiot to actually do it.
Oh, Barry, he needs cheering up. His wife's left him.
Well, I just wish she hadn't left him to me.
I only wanted a bit for under the sink.
Well, now you can do your entire kitchen and have plenty left for under the sink. You see the benefits of forward planning.
I can see the benefits for you.
You're looking thoughtful, lad.
I am.
You think you've spent too much, don't you?
I do.
Well, you'll be relieved to hear you've got free delivery. I'm giving you free delivery.
It's not just a weight. It's dangerous, hard, unyielding. And the lino's not much better.
It's not like carpet. It doesn't bend.
Well, I'm so sorry I forgot to hinge it in the middle. Now, you'll never regret it, lad. You'll get 50 years of wear in your kitchen out of quality like that.
Well, supposing I don't live 50 years.
Well, in that case, you get a refund.
I can feel the atmosphere already. Can you feel it?
No.
No? It's all around you, lad. This is a haunted place. This is full of history. It speaks to me.
Ask it if there's anywhere we can sit down.
Have you never been warned about talking to strangers?
You're not trying, are you? You're like the missus. She shoots me down every time I show a more poetic side.
I remember she didn't like you showing it to that Mrs. Singleton.
All I did was help the woman move her wardrobe. You wouldn't believe the interpretations your missus can derive from that. You'd think it was a fast track to damnation. You can feel people in the street nudging each other and whispering, "That's him, look. Move Mrs. Singleton's wardrobe."
On 3 separate occasions.
Changing her mind. She wasn't happy with it, too near the window. Anyway, my illustrious ancestor used to come here. Yeah. And that's what brings me here. I'll show you. What about that then? RH.
Rita Hayworth. You just missed moving her wardrobe.
It's Robin Hood.
Have you any reason for believing that? Apart from insanity?
I can feel it.
You think that Robin Hood carved his initials on this tree?
I told thee. It's haunted. It's a special place. Something led me to this tree. Funny things happen around here.
He's getting to me now. I can hear something.
Yeah, there's bound to be a simple explanation.
There is. It's fairies. I told you this place was different. There'll be no human agency behind that noise. That's pure fairy, is that?
It does sound unusual.
Don't you start.
Maybe it's trying to tell us something.
Such as what?
Those really are the initials of Robin Hood.
Give over. It's coming from over there.
He goes marching in. Hey, it could be anything.
After you then.
It's in here.
Hello? You in there? Who are you?
On the other hand, don't feel obliged to answer if you're not a human being. Oh, well, yeah. Close enough.
I was hoping there'd be nobody around.
Me too.
Who's playing the music?
It's Wendell. I met him on holiday. He seemed all right on holiday. I didn't know about his penny whistle.
What's he doing with a penny whistle?
He says he can charm the birds.
Billy does it by moving wardrobes.
He's talking feathered variety.
He says they come down from the trees and settle on his cap.
Oh, remind me never to borrow his cap.
Has he always done this penny whistle bit?
I think he's mainly taken it up since his wife left him.
That's one bird he didn't charm.
Wendell, can you come here a minute?
There was a little robin just about to come when you shouted.
I'll never charm out with this, Wendell. I want someone with a bit more power. Dee.
Right, let's have him. Put the siren on. We can't catch him, we might frighten him.
I've got a mobile phone louder than that. Maybe we could scare him with a mobile phone.
You should have checked it before we came out.
Why didn't you check it?
Because I was preparing myself, psychologically, for any of the emergencies we might be called upon to confront in the course of our daily duties.
You were woofing a bacon butty.
Without mustard. There was no mustard. This police force is losing it.
It's a bit warm, Howard, for basically a cool person.
It's only till we get through town. I've been working for some time on the question of how we could walk inconspicuously through town.
So inconspicuously that people are looking at us.
Yes, but that's a diabolical cunning. They're looking at two hippies. They're not looking at us.
You're so tricky, it's scary. I wonder if a girl is safe in the hands of this monster. Don't answer straight away. Take your time and think about it.
You see who it was on that handcart? They didn't recognise us.
Are you sure? But they were busy, they weren't looking.
Positive. We'll wait here and let them pass us again.
Too late, Howard.
Good Lord, a bus trip. I've started getting the overflow from Meadowhall.
This lad here would like an upgrade on a penny whistle. What have you got in musical instruments?
Got to sound sweet.
Well, I always think the sweetest sound is the opening of my cash box, but we do have other musical instruments.
As long as it's sweet.
He charms the birds.
He's not doing much for me.
He wasn't doing much for his wife either. She left him for a Turkish waiter.
You told them. People require a reason when they see somebody trying to charm birds.
Wouldn't he be better off with something that could charm people away from Turkish waiters?
Apart from that, Wendell, did you enjoy your holiday in Turkey?
Came back with lots of holiday snaps, did you? If nothing else.
At least you'll remember what she looked like.
That's no good. Not for charming birds.
Are you sure your judgment's reliable? I mean, after all, your wife's left you.
I wish you hadn't told her.
That'll be all right, Wendell. Auntie knows how to keep her confidence.
Auntie Wainwright's? No, I can't right now. I'm busy with this bloke whose wife ran off with a Turkish waiter.
I'm going to get us a pull up to the top of the hill. It'll be better than being stuck down here. It's a nicer view. We're not going for the view. We can roll the car downhill and start her, and then motor around the patch and get some life in the battery. What are you looking like that for? I'm not coming if you're going to drive fast. You know I don't like driving fast. If I were in hot pursuit of a fugitive, what are you going to do? What can you do with both eyes shut?
If it's about that bit of a shunt the other day, he was driving like a lunatic. I was creeping along through this built-up area at a steady 29 miles an hour, making careful use of mirror and signals.
We need a pull to the top of the hill, because some fool forgot to check the battery, which is flat, because we have to drive so slow in case some muffin gets car sick.
I tow you to the top of the hill, and that's it? I'm free to go?
Of course, naturally.
No blow into this, or can we see your logbook?
Free and clear. It's our seasonal offer.
What's he going to do with these birds when he's charmed them?
I'm not sure. We've never got that far.
Wendell, what are you going to do with these birds when you get them?
I'm going to start a relationship with them. We're going to become good friends.
Oh, they'll be able to exchange Christmas cards.
Don't be rotten, you two. No, I expect he's going to hand-pick a few and train them.
What for?
For dropping something on the head of some Turkish waiter.
Come on, Wendell. Give it a bit more lung power.
He's not attracting anything.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, it may not be Turner, but it's not so bad they had to send for the police.
It's good. And he knows. He's famous throughout the division for his artistic tendencies. You blow dry your hair just once.
I think the lady has an instinctive feeling for composition.
Oh, it's nice to be appreciated. You're very sympathetic, Mr. Entwistle.
I think it's terrific.
You're very kind.
I think it has great tonal quality.
Thank you. Of course, I work to forget. It doesn't always work.
You can put your stuff in your bicycle in his truck. He'll give you a lift home.
Not if she's gonna keep squawking.
Don't you know any funny stories?
I know the one about two policemen whose car wouldn't start.
Means other than that.
Is there no one out there beyond those hills who would be faithful, reliable, fairly good looking, with his own home and transport?
How high? How high do birds go? Use your judgment.
Don't go too high. We'll not get the flute up.
How can I play a flute and still hold on?
A good question, Wendell.
Don't get him injured, he'll never go home.
Wedge yourself firmly in a fork. You should be all right. Our ancestors used to live up there.
Not with a flute.
Just be glad there's not a pianist. From it up, Wendell.
I'm not sure about this.
That's life, Wendell. We can never really be sure about anything.
It makes sense, Wendell. No wonder the birds won't come to you when you're on the ground. You'll stand a much better chance in the tree. I mean, birds expect their friends to be up trees. Now, come along, then. Give us some bird charming.
It's not easy when you're holding on.
Get yourself prop securely and give it some welly.
I wonder if the Turkish waiter has a friend that could be interested in Wendell.
Come on, Wendell. Give us the bird noises. He's in the same key as the wife's sister.
He shows no signs of going home. And you think you're covered by your insurance?
I think he wants to live with the birds. Maybe you could build him a nest somewhere.
First cat would have him.
You could get fed up with holding Lionel.
How do you think I feel? I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing nail modelling.
Don't bend it. In a crack. A bit further. Okay, nearly there. Right, can you bring it round a bit? Oh, it's no good. Oh, it won't go. We'll have to take it through the window.
You'll never get it through that window.
Not that window, my bedroom window. Get a ladder.
Oh, Barry, what happened?
Wendell fell out of a tree.
They do. They fall out of trees. What was he doing up a tree?
Playing a flute.
Should have known.
He was fine till he hit the ground.
For a minute, we thought he'd crushed his flute.
You're sure you're not hurt, Barry?
I'm fine. He fell out the tree.
As long as you're all right. Poor Wendell. I don't want you to take him up any more trees. He's just had an holiday. He's had enough excitement.
Took his mind off turkey. 4 teas, Ivy. 1 extra strong.
His last words were,
What was he really doing up a tree?
Oh, don't ask. It'll make no more sense than the first time.
Making bird noises.
Told you.
He never made bird noises when we were on holiday.
They don't. They keep quiet about things like that until you've exchanged names and addresses.
It's good to know I'm not the only one living with a crackpot.
Why was he making bird noises?
I'm going to charm the birds. They're going to settle on me cap.
I think it's what's under the cap he should be worried about.
It's a good cap. It broke his fall. 1, 2, 3.
Nearly. Almost there. Found it. A bit more. That's it. Watch it.
What are you doing?
Hurry up. Don't rush into me head.
There'll be ample room for it.
Push him back up again.
Forget it. I'm coming down. There's a lower window round the back. We'll try the window round the back.
This is more like it, Wendell. They'll have birds on the cap in no time.
There's a few corners of that to get the wind round.
Now, I want it back in good condition. Any scratches and you lose your deposit.
How big a deposit?
£20.
Well, that's not very musical.
Teach him to put a kink in that flute. Is he qualified on the French horn?
All he has to remember is their drive on the right.
Where do you think it does the trick? I'm not doing it up a tree again. I want to be Wendell of the birds. And it's going to be on foot.
He was Italian. I might have known. They're very musical to the ear. I was in love with the accent.
I feel the same about Geordies. I can't understand them, but I love the accent.
That was another thing he deceived me with. I discovered he was born in Wakefield.
That's nearly Italian. They're very emotional about Jack Russells.
Like my old man always said, never trust a foreigner.
I'm famous as Wendell of the birds.
I bet the wife will come back. You'd be better off at home then, just in case.
Would you take her back then, Wendell?
No way. Nobody makes a muffin out of Wendell of the birds.
You could be missing out on a bunch of new recipes.
Come on then, Wendell. Give it a blast. That's never going to be famous that way.
Nobody makes a musician out of Wendell of the Birds.
That's not blowing right, Wendell. No wonder the missus went looking for a bigger chest.
Cheer him up, why don't you?
That big? Well, he's in for the shot when she starts knocking him about.
What they need is a Robin Hood kind of horn.
I never knew that. Robin Hood played the French horn.
He used to do weddings and Masonic nights.
Outlawing was just a day job.
People coming. We better warn we're here in case it's some mad chop. Not only mad, but invisible.
Listen, there's something coming.
If it's a bird, it's a big one.
Billy's charmed a police car out of the tree. I think it's in pain.
It's simple. We either tell the truth or we lie. We're better at lying. At great personal risk, we just rescued this little child who had fallen down a manhole and seen her safely back to the arms of her frantic mother when we were overcome by fumes. I can still taste it.
Barry gave us a jump start. Can we give you boys a lift?
What's this?
Up on. Your carriage awaits.
I don't accept lifts from strangers.
Strangers? I live next door.
And damn strange you are too. What do you need that thing for when you're on your own?
They said Nora Batty is a different woman in the sidecar, so I thought a different Nora Batty was worth a try.
Who said?
So I thought, go for it, Elvin. Sweeten up the old bat. Take her for a spin now and then. Bring a bit of colour to her life.
Have you any idea how close you are to being spoken of in the past tense?
I realise I make your senses spin.
Like a touch of gastric flu.
I know you're terrified of being alone with me, in case you lose control. But I'll be on the bike, you'll be in the sidecar. It's like having separate rooms.
You're never getting me in that thing.
It's all right, I'm flexible. I'll be in the sidecar, you'll be on the bike. Now what?
Look who's coming.
What was all that about?
Audrey Craig. To think we used to be best friends.
What happened?
Never you mind what happened.
You could do with a best friend to sweeten you up a bit.
I'm sweet enough, thank you.
Yeah, but only on me, and I warned you, I'm dedicated to remaining single and happy. You know.
practice he's had. You'd think he'd be slicker.
Is he big enough for slicker?
I think his nerve's gone. He's got this terrible psychological problem. There's a medical name for it. I believe it's called Pearl.
That's the one I'm thinking of. There's no cure.
What happened to the wings of fuselage?
I bet it still won't fly even when they come.
Oh, no, don't be rotten. It's obvious. It's a coffee grinder.
Enough of the levity. It's a public service. I'm trying to civilise Nora Batty.
Couldn't you start with something easier, like climbing Everest?
You can't move for people climbing Everest.
Oh, but it's never been done in one of those.
You'll enjoy freewheeling down, Alvin.
Don't give him ideas. He's inclined to be a bit, balmy.
I was hoping to take Nora Batty for a spin.
You see what I mean? Could one ask why?
Well, she deserves a treat now and then. And I don't like to think of her only as pining for me from a distance.
Alvin, I think you're only inches away from being one of the bravest, most brainless people I've ever known.
It's very touching to hear you say so. Now, what's all this between Nora and an Audrey Craig?
Nora Batty and Audrey Craig? It's like a traffic warden to a motorist.
It's been like it for years. They used to be the best of friends. Then something happened at a wedding.
Something happened at mine. I got the missus.
Only till death do you part.
What happened at the wedding?
I don't know. I don't think they remember themselves. I think now they just enjoy being miserable with each other.
There's a lot of talent at that round here.
Audrey Craig?
Yeah, she used to be a Brooke.
Ah, I remember Audrey Brooke. She once lent me her pencil sharpener. I never asked for it. She came up to me in class one day and said, "Norman, would you like to borrow my pencil sharpener?" It made me very uneasy. I went around for weeks afterwards hoping that she'd never catch up with me alone somewhere with a blunt pencil.
How do we find out what happened at this wedding?
I'm still a bit hazy what happened at mine.
I feel no. She was at the wedding.
That's a thinker's expression. Plato, Aristotle, my Barry.
Do you think life has any point?
You haven't eaten your egg.
Even if people eat their eggs?
It's cold now. What was wrong with your egg?
I was going to eat it. I was poised with a spoon, and then I thought, why am I doing this? If life is slipping me by, why am I just sitting here eating a boiled egg?
Would you prefer scrambled?
I am scrambled. Alexander the Great had conquered the known world by the time he was 30.
I bet he always had a good breakfast.
Imagine. The whole world yours and still only 30.
What would you do with it all? There's only so much you can send to a car boot sale.
Do with it? I'd bring justice to the toiling masses.
Do you see a mass of toiling these days?
I'd build a little palace with its own golf course.
That's it, isn't it? You're still pining for golf. We'll go and have a game.
I daren't. I keep making a wrong impression on the captain.
I am not having you sitting here wasting eggs. You're going to play golf, Barry.
Do you believe in the afterlife? Is this a trick question? No, I'm serious. Not like you, usually thinking what's for lunch. I know what's for lunch. What I'm not sure about is afterlife. Well, do you believe in it? I'm asking you. Well, perhaps I might believe in it if I thought you did. You can't believe in the afterlife just because your mate does. Well, we usually do most things together.
that look illegal to you?
It looked dangerous.
As long as it's not illegal.
What happened?
It's him. He can't steer his bike.
We were going too fast. I'll get it right next time.
Well, what was he doing with his bike?
Not very well.
I was overloaded.
Now he tells us. And here's me without a breathalyzer.
Not only a bike, a sidecar.
What's he need that for?
He's trying to coax Nora Batty into it.
Oh, she'll never go for it.
You're not making allowances for my personal magnetism.
I'm not making allowances for your personal magnetism.
At the moment, I'm in neutral.
I'm sure that's a relief to us all.
And what does Nora Batty think about your personal magnetism?
She pretends to be immune.
Oh dear, oh dear.
She was immune to Wally's, and he was her husband.
But he didn't have my charisma.
He had pigeons.
A scale model of HMS Rodney.
No wonder she married him.
What happened at that other wedding?
What other wedding?
The one where Nora fell out with Audrey Craig.
Oh, that wedding.
I hear they used to be best friends.
Oh, ever since school. They used to share the same interests.
Misery.
No, they didn't. They were all right. Nora's all right underneath.
That's not the bit that shows, though, is it? So something went wrong at that wedding.
Oh, very shortly afterwards, it was out like mine.
No, I have to admit we were reasonably happy for the first few hours.
I enjoyed the cake.
You were all luckier than you deserved.
What happened at the wedding?
Audrey laughed at Nora's hat.
Everybody laughs at Nora's hat.
But not usually in front of the vicar and 40 guests. And then somebody told Audrey what Nora was saying about her. And they've not spoken since.
Oh, you're looking worried, lass. Now, I always think spending was invented for such occasions.
It's Barry. He's pining for golf.
Was that a problem? Why doesn't he play golf?
He may have lost his nerve, which they do if they don't keep updating their equipment.
He has. He's lost his nerve. He keeps upsetting the captain and he daren't play now.
Ooh. Has he tried the more dangerous sporting activities? We have a large selection of clothing suitable to have bad accidents in.
His heart's in golf. I won't have him doing anything dangerous. I'm looking for something that would restore his golfing confidence.
And there it is! Larger than life! What a wonderful coincidence!
For what?
Sometimes there occurs the perfect matching between the need and the man.
What's he ever been a perfect match for?
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Restoring golfing confidence. Your Barry needs a caddy.
I'm not a caddy.
Well, you can carry a golf bag. And if that doesn't restore his confidence, I don't know what will.
That's wonderful.
That should do it. That should be all he needs.
Ow. I wouldn't say all. If he really wants his confidence back, he wants these.
He's got golfing shoes.
Ah, but these belong to a famous comedian. He used to love his golf. He called them his lucky shoes.
What happened to him?
Got killed by a bus.
What can you get?
I mean, what we have basically is two ladies who haven't spoken for years.
That's a novelty. I've been with two ladies and they've never stopped speaking for years.
The question is, why haven't they spoken?
Because each is waiting for the other to apologise.
Give them time, it's only been 30 years.
It's going to take some mending after 30 years.
Women are stubborn. I think they had lessons in it at school whilst we were doing woodwork.
I did needlework.
I expect that's where they picked up their personal magnetism.
I did it the Butch way, without a thimble.
The Nora Audrey situation is fundamentally a domestic dispute. I used to handle 6 of these a week. The only one I couldn't handle was my own.
How do you propose handling this one?
In the best traditions of the force, a bit of low cunning.
Yeah, it's getting very difficult sneaking out with the bicycle. Wives seem to know the minute you reach for a bicycle.
Have you told her it's all perfectly harmless? Although, please don't think I'm laying down conditions.
It's uncanny when you've removed every squeak from the bicycle.
Howard, you don't think she's psychic?
Close. It's like living with Gypsy Rose Lee.
Wasn't she a stripper?
In that case, it's not, then.
We think up some device to get them together.
And then what? Who's going to apologise first?
Yeah. I can't see Nora Batty apologising first.
I can't see Audrey Craig either.
The drinks are on you, Howard.
It's got so I'm too nervous to go to golf. I've got golfer's block.
You won't be alone, Barry. Tom's going with you.
Tom?
Not only that, but
But what?
you're going to have a caddy.
Nobody has a caddy.
They do. Every time I see them on television, they've got a caddy.
Those are professionals.
Oh, there's one law for them and one for you, is there? Well, if you want a caddy, Barry, you have a caddy.
I don't want a caddy.
Well, you've got one. You can go back to that golf course in style.
Who do you know that's a caddy?
It's Smiler.
That's enough for 2 caddies. Can he play golf?
Why does he have to play golf? He's only carrying your bag. And that's not all. I've bought you these, and I want you to wear them. They belong to a famous comedian. They were his lucky shoes.
Oh, Glenda. Oh, that's really nice. That's really sweet. That's really different.
So, basically what we've got here is that neither lady will apologise first.
They're both highly qualified at not apologising first.
Clash of the Titans.
Speaking of Titans, who's getting the next round?
Trying to transport.
And I'm deaf.
I'll do it. I can't bear to see you lot suffer. Same again, landlord. Now, we know Nora is a tough nut.
Well, she's probably met her match in Audrey Craig. I know Audrey Craig.
So, if neither one of them will apologise first, what we've got to do is make sure that both of them think that the other one is going to apologise first.
It'll go wrong.
Why should it go wrong? You haven't heard the plan yet.
It'll go wrong.
I bet Robin Hood had one like thee amongst his merry men. Come on, what's the plan then?
We arrange a meeting for them somewhere. Somewhere quiet.
Finding somewhere quiet's not as easy as people think.
How are you going to get them somewhere quiet?
Well, you tell Nora that Audrey Craig wants to meet her there so she can apologise. Marina can tell Audrey Craig that Nora wants to meet her there so she can apologise.
OK, let's suppose we get them there. They're each waiting for the other to apologise, and there's this silence. Then what?
Yeah, well, that's the tricky bit. I'm working on it.
It'll go wrong.
I thought this was supposed to be my car.
It is your car.
Well, when am I going to get to drive it then?
As soon as I feel you're ready. You got to stop rushing into things. I warned you about tearing through life at top speed. Give Yorn a toot.
Where is it?
Then you wonder why I won't let you drive. It's that thing in the middle of the wheel. You ready for the old 18 holes then?
No!
Yes, he is.
Here's your caddy. You might as well get used to the weight. He'll get a lot better once he's got his balance.
Has he caddied before?
For me. I wouldn't be without him.
Be careful, Barry.
You mean it could get worse?
So where are we going to get them to meet?
Where they won't feel embarrassed. Somewhere where they can't be overheard.
You can hear Nora Batty 3 streets away.
I'd have said 4.
Try 5.
Oh, they won't be shouting on this occasion. They'll be wary and suspicious.
The old sports field. There are a couple of old sports. Let them meet on the old sports field. Let them meet in the middle of the field. Nobody's going to overhear then.
I like it. That's good, Alvin.
What time?
Midnight, then they can use the broomsticks.
3 o'clock pick-up.
Good enough. Right, off you go, Marina. Tell Audrey Craig that Nora wants to meet her at 3 o'clock so she can apologise.
Perhaps I ought to go with the young lady in case she forgets the message.
Stay here. We've got other plans for thee.
Well, I'll be off then. Alone and unescorted.
Be careful, whoever you are.
That's kind of you, stranger.
She seems very pleasant.
See what's wrong with it?
Me?
Well, it's your car.
Don't worry on my account. I don't dislike being broken down.
Saved by the bell.
How come they ran out of trousers before they got to your ankle?
Will you give us a tow to golf course?
Sorry, I've got to get dressed for the procession. Something to do with Chinese custom.
Well, that's it then. No golf. What a pity.
How long are you going to be getting dressed for this procession?
Not long.
Will you be coming back this way?
Yes.
Right, we'll wait here. You go and get dressed for the procession, and then you can give us a tow to the golf course.
Oh, goody.
Just one condition. Promise me strict silence. No one must know I mix with people in trousers like those.
What do you want?
No, not what you want. Try, hello, Alvin.
What do you want?
I've got big news for you.
And I've got big news for you if you don't stop ringing this doorbell.
You're looking at the peacemaker. I'm here to mend an old quarrel.
This isn't an old quarrel. I've only just started.
Not you and me. You and Audrey Craig.
Don't you mention that name here.
Hang about a bit. Hold your horses. What would you say if I told you she was ready to apologise?
I'd say it's about time.
That's the spirit. Meet her halfway.
How come she's told you she wants to apologise?
Never mind about that. Just listen for a minute. She wants to meet you at the old sports field at 3 o'clock.
What a performance. She always was a bit dramatic.
Well, are you going or aren't you?
I'm going. I've waited a long time for this apology.
I mean, what an impression. Being towed to the golf club. It's going to do wonders for my image.
He's only dropping us off. We'll leave the car in the golf club car park, and whilst we're having a game, the mechanic can come out and have a look at it.
It's not what you call a great entrance, though, is it?
Look at the impression you're going to make when they see how serious you are about your golf. You'd rather be told there than miss it. That'll earn you a few extra points.
How much is the mechanic going to cost?
I shall pare him to the bone for you.
Couldn't he just drop us near the golf club?
No. And don't forget the impression you're going to make with your caddy.
Does he even know which clubs are which?
Nobody said anything about knowing which club was which.
People who lift Dragon's Tail will find convenient tow bar.
Now pay attention, Clegg. Here's the plan. Alvin will lead Nora to the right-hand side of the field. Marina will lead Audrey Craig to the left-hand side.
Yes, that's all clear so far, but then what?
On the dot of 3 o'clock, they start walking towards each other, and they meet in the centre of the field.
Yeah, I can understand that bit too, but, I mean, what happens next?
They'll both be standing there waiting for each other to speak.
Aha. That's when we do our bit, with the organisational flair for which Truly of the Yard has long been famous. Do I hear a round of applause?
It's your round next.
What's he doing here without a ticket?
I thought he was with you.
Are you asleep? I'm not asleep. I'm like a coiled spring, ready for any emergency.
Well, that's good, because there's one coming. Did you see that?
Of course I saw it. I'm a trained observer.
What do you reckon it was?
It was a dragon.
Fair enough. As long as it wasn't an emergency. I'm going to have to change my hay fever medication.
I can't do it. I can't play in these shoes.
They're a present from Glenda.
I can. I've got to play in these shoes. Oh, look at them. I hate them. They're too bright.
They're terrific. They belong to a famous comedian. They were his lucky shoes.
Why is there a switch on them shoes?
What do you mean a switch on?
Well, it looks like a switch.
What's a switch going to be doing on a pair of shoes?
It does. It looks like a switch.
Well?
Well?
Now!
How's that for an apology?
Whose idea was that?
Who do you think?
Oh, what a lovely thought.
Do you think you can ever really be forgiven for insulting a hat?
People used to laugh at me when I was a bobby. But I found if you smiled and were forgiving, you could usually get the beggars later.
Sometimes they laugh at me for wearing such a big feather.
Well, you should try wearing it in your hat.
Shall you pick me up from the coffee morning?
As long as you don't drag me in. Ladies stare at you so. They can give you looks that'd knock your underwear.
I hope you'll always be shy with the ladies, Barry. Except for me. Long as you're not shy with me.
You know I'm not. Would I read to you aloud from my owner's manual if I was shy? You are the first and only woman I have ever read an owner's manual to.
Barry, I remember everything about our honeymoon.
I wish that's all I had to do. Stare at the water.
You're only interested in water when there's a marina.
Why are you doing this impression of a man in a hurry with a tin of emulsion?
Of course, it could be his cover. I bet you know who is waiting somewhere with a ladder and a big flat brush.
I beg your pardon. This is lawful decorating within the bounds of wedlock. It's pearl.
Oh. What colour are you doing, Pearl? Glowing white. Are you having trouble finding her in the dark?
It's losing her that's his trouble.
It's people like you that start wicked rumours.
And it's people like thee who better watch where they put their glowing white finger marks. What have you brought that for?
I thought we were a mobile-free zone.
Somebody keeps trying to reach me. I keep missing the call.
Who's trying to reach you?
I don't know, do I? I keep missing the call.
You missed it again.
Can I be of any assistance, Mr. Truelove?
Thank you, lad, but I think you've just solved our problem. Don't just sit there, Alvin. Pick the phone up.
Is he very wet? Will he stay in the upholstery?
You should have thought of that, lad, before you got him wet.
I hate sitting in wet things.
I hate you sitting in wet things in here.
Cheer up, Barry. It was a nice river to go in. Looked very clean.
Don't fuss, Barry. He's drip dry, non-iron. It's not as if you've got to have him dry clean.
How did it get in the river?
It was easy. He threw it in.
I did not throw it in. It jumped.
Then they threw me in.
Don't exaggerate. We only dropped you for a second.
Be fair, man. We kept your shoes dry.
I wish you kept him all dry. I hate the place smelling of wet customers.
Don't tell Nora I've been in the river. She'll only worry.
Her only worry is you got out again.
She pretends not to care.
And she does it very well.
I keep hoping she'll settle down. I hate having this power over women.
Did you drop him on his head?
Oh, he's been balmy longer than that.
Well, it's dry. Whether it works or not, we'll have to find out. This your number?
Hello. What are you doing here?
Promised my staff a morning tea break. Well, it was either that or a hike in wages. I want your most attractive buns, left over from yesterday. Lock the doors. Nobody move. Now, let's not panic. I want absolute calm until everything's been recovered. Hello. Who is this?
It's me.
You have to ring back. There's an emergency here.
That'll be my unknown caller.
Will you be told there's a crisis here?
Missed it again.
Is the dry enough for libraries, Alvin?
Not only dry, but in wonderful physical condition for a person in the last bloom of youth.
Of course he's dry. Look how much time he had to get dry before Auntie found that last penny.
Worst thing was having to stand for so long in one place.
When Auntie says don't move, she really means don't move.
I felt like a heron.
That looks more like a sparrow.
Well, that caller never rang again. I might never find out who it was now.
Oh, Inspector Truelove.
Retired, madam.
Hard to believe when so in your prime.
It's prime you're looking for, madam. Alvin here is in peak condition.
Despite being recently dropped on his head.
I used to hang glide. I'm highly trained at being dropped on the head.
Never so daring.
It's true. We laugh at danger.
I'm afraid laughter is not permitted on library premises. And you, Inspector Truelove, have something I must have.
I thought I'd returned all my library books.
Your mobile phone, also not permitted on library premises. But I shall guard it, Inspector, as if it were my own.
And who knows, perhaps one day it could be.
Someone please tread on Alvin.
I think she's a fan of yours.
You can't rely on it. They start out as a fan. Before you know it, they're the former Mrs. Truelove.
I hope he's off again. She haunts him.
I think he misses her.
She misses me. She missed me with frying pans, hammers, bricks. Very partial to your blunt instrument was Mabel.
Come along then, Truly. Tell us. What does she really look like?
You won't believe it. She's not for those of a nervous disposition.
Oh, a lot like Nora Batty.
Don't mess about. Give us a description.
It's not something I would do lightly to a friend.
I'm not prying into detail, you understand. But was she big or small?
She's both.
How can she be both?
Well, where she should be small, she was big, and where she should be big, she was small.
Don't spend some, Fanny. Go, show us a photo.
A photograph? The former Mrs. Truelove? I've only ever had one.
Well, come on, show it us.
Are you sure about this?
Come on, let's have a look.
He carries her next to his heart.
In his back pocket.
It's my favourite. It's caught her just at the angle that shows her at her best. There you go, then. The former Mrs. Truelove.
How do I look, Cleggy?
Just a minute, Howard, while I get the wagons in a circle.
I just wanted your opinion, Cleggy.
Well, it's not really suitable for wearing round here, Howard, unless you're going to stumble across a herd of buffalo. You're going to start people talking, Howard.
But it is suitable while people are rehearsing for Rosemary. There are Indians in Rosemary.
You're in Rosemary?
Well, not exactly in it. But there's no harm looking like you're in it.
You're going to be in it if Pearl catches you. How many feathers is Marina wearing? Does Pearl know that you've got a squaw?
I don't know why people jump to these conclusions.
She looks at thee truly like there's leather bound with gilt lettering.
Uncle Alvin's advice, lad. Strike while the iron's still lukewarm.
Wonderful gift you two have for being irritating. That'll be my phone.
To give you a tour of the library services. In the confusion, I seem to have forgotten it. Did I stamp his book?
Judging by his expression, I'd say yes.
He looked pretty well stamped to me.
It's gone.
I know that, Luke. What are you plotting?
What would they really like to see?
A dry pair of trousers.
I'd like to see Truly in a panic. I mean a major panic. Like he somehow got the idea that the former Mrs. Truelove was on his trail.
You're wicked. You know that, don't you?
That's what friends are for.
How? It's when.
Smiler! Alvin, go inside the shop. Keep Auntie busy whilst I have a word with Smiler.
Oh, go on. Throw me to the vampires.
She won't bite thee.
I bet she would if it was dark. Thought they weren't supposed to be able to stand direct sunlight.
It just bounces off all the concealed purses.
You don't have to buy anything, just browse.
It's quite right. There's no obligation to buy.
Although there may be serious financial penalties.
If I'm not out in an hour, report me missing.
When's your lunch break, Smiler?
Lunch break?
He brings greetings from some other planet.
You must stop for lunch.
Don't be putting ideas in their heads. Is it you dreaming these things up in Brussels?
We'll wait for thee in the cafe. Tom, bring him as soon as I get free. OK, you're safe now, Alvin. We're going.
It's too late.
Pearl wouldn't understand. Her idea of something good to wear is a cardigan.
Listen, I won't hear anything ill about cardigans. I think the only thing that got me through the first year of my marriage was a good, warm cardigan.
If anybody asks, don't forget, I'm in Rosemary. I'm not saying it's a leading part. I suppose you're wondering what I'm doing dressed like this.
Insanity?
Rosemary.
Howard, you've never looked lovelier. You make a wonderful Rosemary.
Hey, did you see little rain in the face? Or was it emotion?
Somebody should tell him. I mean, his size wearing feathers? He'd never get past Colonel Sanders.
You look like a man who's had a bad morning.
I fell under this librarian.
Happens all the time.
Had to dry out my phone.
A wet librarian?
No, that was another occasion. Then we had to dry out Alvin.
Yeah, well, that shouldn't be a long job. There's not a lot of Alvin.
Quite enough when wet. Got you this time. Hello. It's her.
Huh?
Mabel.
Mabel?
The former Mrs. Truelove. Just lower your temperature, Mabel. Why have you been trying to get hold of me? What's so urgent? You want half the fridge freezer? Why are you bothering me? You've got yourself another partner. Yeah, and I bet he's put you up to this. I thought he looked a bit shifty, you can always tell. Why am I expected to believe it's not him? You've thrown him out? You're free and available again? Mabel, now why have you rid yourself of that good man? Couldn't you reconsider and give him a fair chance? Mabel, pay attention, Mabel. Stop sharpening your teeth and listen. You can't have half the fridge freezer. The two halves don't come apart. Anyway, you've got everything else. You even kept me razor. Oh. She's hell on razor blades, that woman. Very powerful facial hair. Has to be commended for impressive follicles.
Essentially, it's a love story. I like it. Where did you meet her?
At the dog track one evening. I was there on police business, and she came out of trap 3 like a greased rocket.
Don't lie to me when I'm ironing my best vest. It's a solemn moment. Come on, where did you really meet her?
Actually, it was Clacton. We were both there on holiday. She was wearing this flowing garment. I thought it was the refreshment tent.
You press this thing flat, and every time it can't wait to start to run up your back. You used to tell these stories about her. I mean, what? Come on, what was she really like?
Shaven or unshaven?
What do policemen do at critical moments when their vests start climbing? Or is that information in breach of the Official Secrets Act?
Now, Smiler, all we're planning to do is pull Truly's leg a bit. And us, have a bit of fun. Are you receiving me? Over.
He's not really big on fun.
A giggle, Smiler. A bit of a laugh.
Oh, I like a laugh. I've always been one for a laugh. Me and the missus, we often used to have a laugh. She always said I used to make her laugh.
Yes, we can see that.
Now, pay attention, Smiler. That's going to help us pull Truly's leg. We're going to pretend there's a woman looking for him.
A woman?
Oh, come on, Smiler, you must remember that much.
I wouldn't put money on it.
What woman's looking for him?
You don't know her. She's a stranger. But we want you to tell Truly that this stranger stopped you in the street and asked you if you knew where Truly lived.
So, what did I tell her?
You didn't tell her anything. There was no woman.
Just pretend you told this pretend woman you didn't know where Truly lived.
Why would I lie?
Don't say you can't lie. Ask Tom, he'll show you.
I only lie in self-defence and financial matters.
You didn't lie, Smiler. There's no woman. It never happened.
It's a gag, Smiler. You just pretend there's a strange woman looking for Truly.
And then he'll ask you, what did she look like?
I don't know what she looked like.
All you have to say is that she looked horrible.
How horrible?
As horrible as you like. She didn't exist.
Just say horrible.
You like to be accurate about these things.
Do you remember how your missus looked?
Oh, yeah.
He'll never get it straight. He's far too tall for mental activity.
Well, he had plenty of rehearsal. I looked him straight in the navel and made him repeat everything.
I loved it when he said he enjoys a laugh.
And Nora batted.
It rocks you to your foundations. It's like discovering Tarzan was a cross-dresser.
Here he comes.
Have you seen Smiler?
Funny you should say that. He's looking for thee.
That's what Tom said. Why is Smiler looking for me?
We never asked. We're not ones to pry.
Since when?
I caught mine standing in front of the mirror saying, how?
It's amazing how soon they start using the mirror more than you do.
What do you mean, saying how? How what?
Well, that was it. Nothing what. Just how.
We all know they're peculiar, but why was he standing in front of the mirror saying how?
It's a very good question. It's exactly what I asked him.
What did he say?
He said, oh, was I saying how?
Oh, they lie instinctively. It buys them a bit of time till they can come up with a better lie.
Maybe you thought he was saying how. Maybe he was saying something else. Maybe he was saying wow.
I tend to make sure he's got nothing to say wow about.
It's a while since I've had occasion to use it.
Well, maybe it was a cry of pain. Well, they do that. Make little cries of pain.
That's true. They're not good at pain unless it's ours.
My Barry's very caring.
She has a sweet nature.
We keep warning her.
I suppose we must all have had sweet natures once.
Ooh, I wouldn't go that far.
We've noticed.
Is your Howard any good at decorating?
Not really. But it keeps him away from what he thinks he's good at.
My Wally was no good at ceilings. He was scarcely tall enough for skirting boards.
Oh, mine was tall enough, but he used to splash everywhere.
Oh, they do that. They splash everywhere.
I don't think I was with anybody long enough to feel the urge to redecorate.
My Barry likes decorating. I sometimes think he was meant for interior design.
Oh, you must never let his superiors know about that.
Oh, here's my Barry now.
Well, I'd best be off and see what colour my husband is.
You see, married all those years and she still doesn't know.
Can you give these ladies a lift, Barry?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, I hope I don't crush this hat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you had.
It was quite expensive.
So was the Titanic.
Speaking of which, is it damp in here? Oh, a sudden rush of customers. Now, you're probably thinking, will she be able to cope?
We've not come to buy. Just keep yourself in neutral.
That's entirely the wrong attitude. That's shopkeeper discrimination.
We'd just like a word with your assistant. Is Smiler inside?
Yes, he is. He's trying on his costume. They've asked me to do a bit of advertising for Rosemarie.
I understand he's got a message for me. Can we have a word with him?
I expect so. It could take a while before he's ready. Of course, I could gee him up a bit if I had a bit of encouragement.
We can claim exemption on the grounds that he's bought something already today.
Oh, that was this morning. After midday, that doesn't count. He's fair game after midday.
What did he buy? I didn't realise he'd bought something. Keeping it quiet, Alvin.
Haven't you shown them what you've bought? Oh, what's the matter, lad? Have you no pride in getting a bargain?
Well done, Alvin. Let's have a look at it, then.
Just what that's always wanted, Alvin. A scent spray.
Ah, brings back memories. We had to qualify on them in the Vice Squad.
Alvin has a keen eye for an attractive object.
In the name of charity, I want you all to promise you'll never tell a soul.
You look magnificent, Smiler. Even taller.
Why couldn't you sell him a scent spray? He's dafter than I am.
But I have to give him staff discount.
He'll never pass under a low bridge in that hat.
Word in your hat, Smiler.
I want a word with you. There's a...
Woman.
woman looking for you.
A woman?
One of those longer-haired things.
Did I know a Mr. Truelove? She asked.
Who was she?
I've no idea.
Well, what did she look like?
Horrible. No, worse than that.
He's gone for it. We've got him going now.
He looks a bit stressed.
He'll be even more stressed before we've finished.
You think you can get him stressed enough to want to buy a scent spray?
But what's Mabel doing coming here?
Well, I can soon find out. She's stopping at the Feathers.
They come here these days for the views, but it must have been pretty wild once upon a time.
It's still pretty wild down Arnold Street.
I'm talking primitive savages.
Me too.
It would have been a rough job being a bobby in the days I'm talking about. I bet he never knew what might be coming around the next bend.
Oh, Howard!
You see, it works. We found each other.
Couldn't we just use the telephone, Howard?
Why don't we go further into the trees and improve our woodcraft?
Hadn't we better put the fire out first?
I don't think anybody will ever put my fire out.
Oh, Howard.
Oh, Marina.
Where are you, Howard?
I think I'm on fire, Bethel.
Oh, Howard, you sure know how to smooth talk a person.
It's a tough life.
I've noticed that.
Continually living with the threat of violence.
I suppose it serves us right for getting married.
I know, don't tell me, jerking and lurching. And these tights, rhythm not possible on clutch.
Do you think it's illegal?
The way he looks, it should be.
You've got to be careful here. Do you mind if we inquire, sir?
What are you doing dressed like that?
Favour for a friend.
Must be a good friend.
Try to look like ugly woman.
Pass.
Play joke on other friend.
You think it's funny, you lot?
It beats buying scent sprays.
We think it's really heartwarming. Everybody loves a love story.
Especially with a happy ending.
Look at that. A lonely figure at the window, waiting for you. Now, isn't that romantic?
Just like the photograph.
Why she got her back turned?
It was a private arrangement we had for long summer evenings.
Talk to her. Go on. Attract her attention.
You leave her attention where it is. Drinks are on me. That's not Mabel. That one's prettier than Mabel. Rosemary was always our favourite. A Mountie on a horse. I used to say to her, Mabel, I'm a policeman. I've got you. Who needs a horse?
Are you ready? Round the target!
It's a waste of time if the lights won't work.
Lights now work.
Are you sure?
Trust me, I'm electrical and whistle.
Is it safe to switch them on?
No problem.
Oh, lovely. You gormless twillop. Now what have you got to say?
Merry Christmas.
I get £1,000 off a new kitchen and a chance to win what? Oh, 10 days in Mallorca? Oh, that'll be a treat. It'll give me a chance to wear my new disco outfit.
Down there in the gully. That's where we said goodbye.
I think I've heard this before. It was a musical. It's not going to start singing, you see.
He hasn't got the chest for it. Best he could do is tweet.
Oh, that would be a tweet.
Ah, you're a cynical lot. This was a deeply romantic occasion.
Ah, I think that's tweet.
I'll ignore you and carry on. Broke a little heart, I did.
Trod on it, did you?
Why'd you have to go, Alvin? She pleaded. Why is there only you that can save England from her deadly enemies?
Aye, we were wondering that.
I expect it was because he had nothing else to do that weekend.
It took him a whole weekend?
Well, maybe he was short-handed. Mind you, he's got the legs to match.
I shall never forget our magical time together, she said between sobs. So you see, it wasn't just goodbye. I had to lend her a good hanky. It had my initials on it.
I don't know why I'm standing here listening to this drivel when I should be at home writing my own.
How far has they got with their memoirs?
Not very far. I keep forgetting people's names.
Give it a miss. You're spending too much time stuck in the house.
I'm spending too much time trying to remember people's names.
The thing I remember about her most is she owes me a hanky.
Oh, Zachary dead? Are you sure?
Well, they must have been pretty sure. They buried him last week.
It's times like these that make you wonder what happened to his mahogany bedroom suite.
You knew him quite well then, if you were familiar with his bedroom suite.
I sold it to him. Promised I could buy it back when he'd finished with it. Still, he needn't have hurried for my sake.
It wasn't that much of a hurry. He was 96.
Well, what can you say? Except I hope he didn't suffer. Or leave it to anybody who might think it's worth more than it is.
I've forgotten her name. But I can see her as clear as daylight at school. Pigtails. Spectacles, tallish lass, blonde, black lipstick. She looked like Snow White's wicked stepmother.
Lipstick at school? Never.
She used to chew sticks of licorice.
Oh, right. Suppose we all look like we use stove cleaner for toothpaste. Have you got any school photographs?
Yes. Here, come in. Hang on a minute. See if you can put a name to a few. Hang on a minute. I'll bring them down.
It's only me, Claggy. I don't know where the dragon is.
Just joking. You know me. Anything for a laugh.
They were seen on their own in a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Is that significant or something?
Well, I don't think any woman who values her reputation would be seen on her own with a driver in an off-road vehicle.
I don't think that danger's something that you and I need lose any sleep over.
I wish you stopped following me.
Why would anybody be following you?
I think it's animal attraction.
Hey, animal, find a table, sit down and behave.
Fear not, madam. They're under my control.
And we'll have less flannel from you.
I think she must have trained with my missus.
Animal attraction. He looks like a neglected whippet.
He's pulling your leg.
Life is full of mystery. Doesn't it make you wonder where Nora got that hat?
Makes you wonder why.
I think she gets her fashion notes from Oxfam.
Where's the other one? Where's Norman Clegg?
Oh, gone down nostalgia lane.
Trying not to forget everything he's forgotten.
He's stuck in the house, buried deep in the past.
At the moment, he's just stuck. Trying to remember the name of a girl at school.
Blonde with glasses, tallish girl.
Pigtail. Used to chew licorice.
Sounds like a dangerous pigtail to have.
Did she do needlework?
No, that was me. Choose a sport, they said, so I picked needlework. And in no time at all, I was playing for the first team.
Tallish girl, glasses. Did she used to do handstands?
Oh, that one. She used to walk on her hands. Audrey something.
Needham. Oh, I remember her better upside down than the right way up.
Audrey Needham.
What's the big emergency?
A mahogany bedroom suite.
An emergency mahogany bedroom suite?
She set her heart on it.
Auntie has a heart?
She set her wallet on it.
It's going to be heavy. People sneer at chipboard, but it's not as heavy.
Why are we hanging about when I'm paying for the hire of this vehicle? People don't pay for hanging about.
Some people don't pay much for not hanging about.
I can't hear him. Haven't you told him I'm deaf?
Deaf when she wants to be.
I've got selective hearing. There's no cure for it.
Why is it some people are flying jumbo jets and I'm either in some old truck or co-pilot of a handcart?
This truck used to be a jumbo jet. I had it remodeled.
What happened to the air hostess?
Got married, had children, now looks like any other wife.
You see, Smiler, how cruel life is? We're better off on the handcart.
This is your captain speaking. Please fasten seatbelts and observe no smoking.
I'm observing no moving. When are we going to start moving?
Audrey Needham. She was right. That's who it was.
Was? Now she's the widow Winstanley.
Now that we've found her for Clegg, don't you think it'd be nice if we got them together?
I think all he wanted was a name. You know what he's like. If he sees a live woman on his doorstep, he'll get irritable bowel syndrome.
He should get out of the house more, with his friends, where he's safe. A woman on his doorstep might just do the trick.
That's wicked.
Yes, isn't it? Yes, I was rather pleased with it myself.
I'll get her this time.
You'll find the deepest emotions, of course, in the greater poets. If you're looking to rekindle your primal fire...
I don't carry matches anymore.
You should join our little poetry group. We perform our own work.
Oh, I can do that.
Excellent. Are you a passionate person, Mr. Ingleton?
Well, I get pretty nice, you know, when I stop smoking.
You must have known love.
Oh, don't remind me. I loved Hubert.
Oh.
And there he was, dead on the floor. His mouth was open, you could see his tooth. He had this lovely tooth.
Just the one tooth?
Well, I expect he had more at the back somewhere. You don't like to pry.
No, of course.
Besides, he'd bite if you weren't careful. He was a hamster. I was devastated. He'd be waiting when I got home. You never think there's going to come a day when you have to bury your loved one in a gravy granule tin.
Not love in a cage, Mr. Ingleton. Something free, wild, untamable.
You want a ferret?
You must read this. I defy you not to be uplifted, energized, rendered more open to the passions our nature calls us to.
Well, haven't you got anything...
yes?
Thinner?
Hey, I like the red wires. They look interesting.
Thinking man can't help wondering why Alvin is wet.
Alvin's often wet. He's getting better at it.
What seems to be the problem, Aunt Whistle?
Bad attitude, this truck. Where are you lot heading?
Oh, to find a widow for Norman Clegg. Nothing fancy.
She walks on her hands. I call that fancy.
You can always do the same thing if you want to talk to her.
You want a woman that walks on her hands?
No, we're throwing that in as a bonus.
Liven him up a bit.
Get him out of his room.
A widow for Norman Clegg? Won't he be terrified?
Oh, hello, Auntie Rose.
Any change?
No.
Oh. Does he always get this moody about his golf?
Not only his own golf, now he's ashamed of his partner's golf. And he stopped speaking English. He only speaks grunt.
Grunt?
As in, for example... Auntie Rose and I are just popping into town, Barry.
Now I'm with you. He speaks grunt. Oh, don't worry, love. They always come round in the end. Sometimes both ends.
What sort of water was it? You smell like a wet dog.
Oh? What kind?
Do you ever wonder if he's an idiot?
Never. But absolutely sure he's an idiot.
What he does best.
Was there any need to get him wet?
I was wondering that.
When fate presents you with a balm pot, you feel obliged to make use of it.
It must be nice having a wild, free lifestyle where you can get wet whenever you want to.
You want wet, you can wash them windows.
Wet's all right in its place, but there's some places you could do without it.
How come you brought him here for attention? You've no right flaunting your freedom in front of people who are practically a prisoner.
Prisoner? Every time I blink, you've gone.
See? They get time off for bad behaviour.
We tried Clegg first, but he was most offended that anybody should think he's the kind of person to own a hairdryer.
He'll get over it when he finds his widow on his doorstep.
Well, he only wanted a name.
And why stop at half measures? If you're going to do a job, do it properly.
You're wicked, you know that.
It was the first subject we had to pass on joining the Vice Squad.
We can't go all that way on foot.
We can if we have to, and we seem to have run out of transport.
You're too old to be trekking all that way. Ow! What the heck have you got in there?
Just a few yo-yos.
Where are you going to sell all those old yo-yos? Nobody wants yo-yos.
You have to make them want yo-yos. How do you think they got started? Just imagine the genius of that first yo-yo salesman. What does it do, people asked? Well, it goes up and down this bit of string. And he still sold yo-yos. Now that's what I call class. Now, if you two yo-yos will put your backs into it and get this show on the road.
They'll get nowhere with the widow Winstanley. She's not daft enough to be interested in men.
Well, she could learn. It's not too difficult.
I'll ask her. She'll be here later.
If she's a widow, she must have been interested at one time.
We all make mistakes.
Although, as you said, some of us are better at it than others.
The widow Winstanley won't be in a hurry to make another mistake.
You can't stop at one. It's like falling off a horse. You have to get straight back in the saddle again.
I'd sooner dump the horse.
They're only doing this widow Winstanley thing to pull Norman Clegg's leg.
Audrey Winstanley is not one for pulling any man's leg.
I bet Mr. Winstanley was more accustomed to making do with a handshake.
Why is it that marriage seems to take all the excitement out of everything?
That's what it's for. The best substitute for excitement is uncertainty. Keep them guessing. I kept mine on his toes. He never knew where he was.
My Barry couldn't do with uncertainty. He works for a building society.
You've never lost a husband. I've lost one. I don't intend to go through that again. It's most inconvenient trying to remember what they've done that you can blame them for.
Why not just blame them anyway? But they're always feeling guilty about something. They'll never notice.
Is that quite fair?
What's fair got to do with it? When there's a husband to be trained away from his natural tendencies to revert back to being single.
Pay attention, Chuck. This behavior not acceptable. You get one more chance. Don't mess with me, Chuck. I order you. Stop.
I'm a better golfer now, Barry. I've been practicing.
You can't have improved that much since yesterday.
Yesterday was a bad day.
All you have is bad days.
You can build on that kind of consistency.
It's nothing personal. It's just that it gets embarrassing watching you digging your own bunkers. You're dangerous with a putter.
But I now know where I've been going wrong.
I know where you've been going wrong. You went wrong here, here, and here.
I said I was sorry.
What seems to be the trouble, Mr. Entwistle?
No good, Chuck. Very bad attitude. He looks worse than Chuck.
His golf gets worse.
I can fix.
You can fix?
Tiger Woods calls me all the time for alternative therapy. You never heard? It's new. I invented.
How does it work?
You take mine from golf. Forget it.
How can you forget what's nagging at you?
You do something else. Then afterwards, golf much improved.
He really works?
Tiger Woods not doing bad.
What do you recommend I do to take my mind off golf?
Men Chuck.
think we've cracked it this time.
You're a scheming little weasel. I like it.
Somebody comes, we just pull down the visor.
Am I safe, she asks herself, in the hands of this manipulator?
With the lid down, we're invisible. We can go anywhere.
Oh, Howard. Will you still find me attractive when I'm invisible?
If my visor steams up, the answer's a yes.
Hello. Good day to you, Howard. I represent Acme Double Glazing. Have you considered the benefits of fitting a heat-retaining device to that visor?
Have you ever had to give the kiss of life?
That's in the middle of a sandwich.
You think you could give anybody the kiss of life?
Not anybody.
Me neither. I lay awake sometimes at night thinking, will tomorrow be the day I have to give some scruff the kiss of life?
What's alternative?
I think if they were really scruffy, I'd use a straw.
Look at that. That poor old lady. You've got to be ashamed.
Come on, Fleggy, get the coat on.
You lot seen anything belonging to me lately?
Have we seen him? Never exactly saw him.
Well, if you do see him, tell him that I'm at the poetry reading at the library.
You won't get Mr. Clegg out. He's trying to finish his memoirs before his memory goes.
Too late. I can't even remember.
Audrey Needham.
Now the widow Winstanley.
That's it. Ha! Audrey Needham. Oh.
She's meeting Ivy at the cafe if you want to meet her.
Now, it all comes back to me now.
So get your coat on.
You can't stay in all day.
No. I've got to get it all down now.
Last chance, Clegg, before we have to take measures.
That's right, Will. Kill the old lady.
You won't treat your wife like that.
She won't let you.
You have to be firm.
Then what happens?
She still won't let you.
Musical telegram for Mrs. Winstanley from Norman Clegg.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Norman Clegg remembers Audrey Needham. As for memories of Audrey Needham, he wants to meet you, Audrey Needham, and invite you to tea. And licorice too.
Everyone. Boyfriends or brothers, please, to come in and just help. That would be lovely.
Can anyone hide in, join in here?
Yes, of course, Mr. Clegg. Do sit down. Now, for our first contribution, we have Mr. Ingleton. And now, Mr. Ingleton is going to read his own composition, which is autobiographical.
I wrote it myself.
Mr. Ingleton.
Falling in love is a youthful delight. It starts just before you leave school. It could even start sooner if it weren't for the fact that you're frightened of looking a fool. Then hey presto, there's a change. You begin to feel proud, 'cause you've chosen a partner and you're out of the crowd. Now you hold hands gently to show that you care, and with a shy little kiss you start an affair. Now the first time I fell in love could only be classed as superb. The second affair was also quite nice, but the one I liked best was the third. Although 4 I was sure would be top of the list, it was beaten by 5, 6 and 7. Number 8 was perfection with all that I wished. Number 9 must have dropped in from heaven. And as the list grew bigger, it became just a habit. Any chance of a date, it couldn't wait, I'd just grab it. So I made up my mind to be much more fastidious and try to avoid all the ones that were hideous. Then later my age was reaching the stage where the choice had to be more elastic. They were wrinkled and aging, their faces need caging, but to get one at all was fantastic. Common sense showed me the way, said I mustn't be greedy no more. Settle down with one only, then never feel lonely, with a wife and some kids I'd adore. So I started to court an old hag, 'cause I knew it was time to get wed. But then when I asked it, she said I was past it and made me get out of her bed. But I'm still trying hard and nobody's barred. So I thought that I ought just to mention that with no luck so far, whoever you are, I've got a small house and a pension.
Tell me why a policeman in uniform buys a yo-yo.
Tougher than she looks, that old biddy.
You're not kidding.
Why you changed your mind?
Some woman on my doorstep.
Never!
I wonder how she got there. I had to hide in the poetry group. I knew it. I've had this premonition all day. Somebody was going to burst into song.